Abandonment wound is the core wound of humanity that sabotage all areas of your life, especially your relationship with your family and your loved ones, and fundamentally make you feel like you're separated from love. So we went through a series of video to truly make you understand about this wound. And for this one, we're going to talk about how can you heal from it and what your life will look like after you come out, from the other side. I want to make one thing clear. So healing the abandonment wound is not about finding the perfect relationship. It's not about finally meeting, the one that, love you so perfectly and consistently, that the wound will never activate again. That person doesn't exist. And this is also what, like a relationship is for. So the whole journey or the meaning of the healing is not like we can arrive at a destination and stay there. So the reality is that after you've done, the healing of the abandonment wound, the wound or the patterns can still be activated. Some old pattern can still serve as, when things got triggers. But the difference is that, and now you can meet, the patterns and the wounding with a conscious awareness. So the wounding will not be completely erased, but your relationship with it changes. So the wounding now is no longer making your decision, is no longer writing your stories, and is no longer determining who you believe that you deserve. The abandonment wound is built entirely on this belief that love is outside of you. That love is something that lives in another person, something that they can give when they're in love with you, and it can take away from another person when they're not. So if you believe that love is from an external source, it means that at any moment it can be taken away. And I want to let you know that this is an illusion and this is a lie. And this illusion and lie live at the core of the abandonment wound. And the intention of this series is to break this illusion and this lie. I want you to really feel into what I'm about to share. What if love is not something outside of you? What if love is who you truly are and it's lived in the middle of your heart? And some people did say to me, they said, people do leave. And when I end a relationship, it really hurts, So if love is who I truly am, then why I feel so hurt and love in those moments? And my answer is that, we are human being, we are not robot, right? So of course we do feel the hurt. But you fell in love not because love was absent, from yourself, but because the wound created an illusion, a wall between you and the love that lived in the middle of your heart. And so that even the love was always there is right now when you're watching this video, you cannot feel it because the wound, kind of like built a wall so that you kind of lost the connection with it. So if you are convinced by this wound that love is from the outside, you will always be searching. Always earning love from an external source, always outsourcing. So what is, just for one moment, just for experiment, you turn inwards, to truly feel into your heart and feel into what is already live in the middle of your heart. I want you to really feel, the love that already live inside, at the core of your being. Now let's go to the actual practice of healing the wound. So here's 3 steps that you can do when you notice that the abandonment wound start acting out in the moments, in your life. So the first step is awareness. So you need to catch it when it's activated. So when the fear of being left arises, I want you to pause and name it. So say internally in your head that, okay, this is the abandonment wound activated. So this is the nervous system, my nervous system responding to a threat. So this is a protect mechanism. And when you name it, it's created a gap. So it creates like a separation of your identity and the wound itself. So you won't identify yourself as the wound, but instead you create this awareness of that. I notice that this wounding is activated now, but this is not me. The second step is the practice of stop outsourcing your safety. So when the wound activated, the all usual immediate impulse is to reach outward, to seek reassurance, to send a message, to make the call, and to make a confirmation from another person that everything is okay, that you're loved, that you're not being left, and abandoned. And sometimes that's reaching is honest and healthy communication. But when I'm talking in the contents of, the abandonment wound, what it actually does, is that every time when this triggers, the wounding is trying to regulate yourself through another person. So when you got triggered, I want you to don't call your ex. Don't abandon your truth to keep the toxic relationship. Don't apologize to someone that crosses your boundaries. So, and on your old self probably say, oh, I apologize so I can keep the peace, So, and instead what I want you to do is that when the wound activated, I want you to just pause and breathe and feel into your body and locate where is the contraction come from. Is that the tightness in your chest, or is it some constriction in your throat? And just stay with it for a few breaths. So this pausing, what it did to your nervous system is that you are telling yourself that I can stay here to face my discomfort. I am capable of meeting my own pain. So I have the ability to handle my emotions and feelings. And every time you do this, every time you pause, instead of immediately reaching out, and you are strengthening and building your internal safety. So you're building your muscle that's strengthening your capacity to handle the wound without outsourcing it. The third step is stay with yourself. So when the fears arise, I want you to stay. When the loneliness came, stay with that feeling. Even every part of you want to check out, you want to distract yourself, I want you to stay with your true feeling and feel into it. So the wound core experience is that, when you got triggered by someone leaving you, you're feeling like, oh, I'm abandoned, I'm alone, And the healing component of it is not like you're finally finding someone that will stay with you forever, because nobody will, The healing component is coming from you finally consistently realizing that you can stay with yourself. Every time you stay with your own pain, instead of running away from it, you're rewriting the deepest stories of the wound that does ever tell you that I'm abandoned. Because now you know that you always have yourself. We come to this earth alone, and we will leave this earth alone as well. Like everything is impermanence, is the impermanent nature of life. Everyone will eventually leave one day and no one will stay with us forever, right? So the deepest healing of the abandonment wound happened not when someone finally stay with us. The healing is coming from you finally realizing that you will never abandon yourself. You always have you. There is so much beauty waiting for you when you heal from the abandonment wound. So what it looks like is that you stop loving from fear. You stop choosing partner because you're afraid to be alone. You stop staying in relationship that diminish you because the wound say it is better than nothing. You stop performing love and begins to offer it. And you can be with your loved ones in the full presence without constantly scanning them for a sign of withdrawal. And you can receive someone's love without the fear that running in the background. And you begin to feel held, not just by one person, but by love and life itself. So it's this sense of feelings that being received and held by the whole universe. This feel of love that underlies all things. And you begin to choose differently, from a genuine sense of your own worth. And now you know the difference between the chemistry that is based on fear versus a connection that is genuinely healthy. So you choose a relationship from clarity instead of fears and hunger. And perhaps the most beautiful, change of all is that it begins to experience love as something you are, not something you seek. So you move through the world differently. Now you're more open and more present, and your heart is more willing and open to touch by things. And because you're no longer armored, you become love itself. And this is actually the natural state of a human being. The natural state of the heart that is free from this illusion that we are separated from love. And this is what is waiting for you on the other side, when you heal from the wounding. The abandonment wound has been a huge journey of my life. It showed me the part of myself that I abandoned and revealed the strategy that I built to keep myself safe and the performance that I did to maintain the love that I thought I needed. And, the constant outsourcing of myself, my entire life, the exhaustion. And my whole healing journey led me to this point that I feel the deep sense of coming back to myself, and have given me the capacity to love another person without clinging onto it, to be in a relationship without disappearing my own needs, and have this realization, even any people leave me is not the end of love, it's just a transformation of it. So now I know in my whole body that love doesn't leave when another person leaves, because love is not given from any people outside of me. Like love is who I am. Love is who you are. And the wound is the doorway. Like every loss, every fear is just all part of this journey that bringing you back to home, to this realization that you are never separated from love. Not for a single moment, not in any of those leaving. The separation was always the illusion. And the love is always the truth. This is the 4th video of the Abandonment Wound Series. If you haven't watched the other 3, I highly recommend you to go back to watch the other 3 videos as it will give you a complete map and a comprehensive understanding of the abandonment wound. I will put the link of all the videos in the description box below. If you find this content helpful, I want to share with you that everything I taught in this channel and across these 4 videos is the core teaching of my book, The Heart Awakening. So the book goes really deep into the full map of the heart healing and the esoteric teaching behind the work and the practice that really help you to transform, your relationship with the wounding and has really transformed the life that is the people that I work with. So if this is something that you're ready to dive deeper, there's a free chapters available for you, and I'll also post the link in the description box below. My name is Yennis. On this channel, we explore the deeper healing of the heart, esoteric teaching, and the mystery of using the HeartGate as a pathway of awakening. Please share my video to your friends that you find they will benefit from this work. Subscribe to my channel, and I'd love to hear from you in a comment below that what has sparked in you in this 4 series, and is there any challenges that came up for you? And I would love to hear about your questions so that I can support you more, on this journey. Thank you so much for being here, and I will hope to see you in my next one.